plate. That was totally Geraldine's fault, totally unprofessional. And
I'll
of
take the
course, that was
blame.
my fault. That was on me. Geraldine, I am so excited that you're here.
Yes.
I'm just super thankful, super excited, super I feel almost intimidated by you because outside of my YouTube videos out there about kvCORE, the topic that we're covering today,
Yeah.
I consider yours a little bit more. So there's a little bit better than mine, actually considerably better than mine. So there's a bit of there's a turf war right now, and you just didn't know about it. So I don't know how I feel about it, but
Yeah.
welcome. How are you today?
Good. I'm so grateful to be here with you. So excited. And a friendly competition is always good. So I'm up for all of that.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well,
Yeah.
we have a lot of good things coming up about kvCORE. So as you're coming in, there's a lot
Yes.
of users that watch this channel. So I want to make sure that if you have any questions, that you drop them down in the chat, just making sure that our audio is okay. So for the audience that might not know too much about you at the moment, can you give us a bit of context as to who the heck you are, what you do, and all the fun stuff, just so we can get on the same playing field, and then we can launch us into some kvCORE mastery.
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Geraldine. I got my real estate license a little over a year ago. And one of the things that I have always loved was technology, the software programs, making sure that, things run smooth, operations. So when I got into real estate, I noticed that, kvCORE, this amazing CRM, this platform can do so many things. And a lot of agents were not using it either at all or the right way. So I took it upon myself to, learn this program and really dive into it and teach others how to use it. Because we all know with systems and these programs and softwares, these CRMs, it makes life easier, especially as a real estate agent. Your days can be hectic sometimes, so having something in place will definitely make life easier and help your business be ran a lot smoother.
100%. No, so you really touched on something that I know all too well. When it having worked with thousands of agents, we want the and myself being one as well, of course. We all want the latest system, the automation, the this, that, or the other. And when we get
Yeah.
it, when we get the Ferrari, when we get the Rolls Royce of CRMs, it lays dormant, right? So we either don't use it, or we use the bare minimum. And I'll get to that. I'll get to that. I'll get to that. And while I understand that, and you and I both understand that as agents, getting to that, pushing that off as we're working and getting business, getting buyers, getting sellers, working with agents, doing whatever, that whole the desire to have that ultimate gadget, if you will, the ultimate CRM. Well, once we have it, then we use it just in a bare minimum fashion, always pushing it off for later, 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 and later never comes, right? So this is really where I really appreciated the accelerator that you've done, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But with kvCORE, there's just so many different ways that you can go about it, and the videos that you make, I'm dead serious. They are really good, and
Thanks.
I'm gonna have to compliment you more and more. I do like the rivalry that we got going on, but I don't like losing, and I feel like I've lost. So I'm gonna expect you to put me on your channel next. I'm kidding. So when it comes to kvCORE, though, there's a lot of gizmos, there's a lot of gadgets, there's a lot of things going on. But what I really appreciate
Mhm.
about your videos specifically is there's some practical use to the strategies that you share. There is
Yeah.
almost like the easy button, if you will, where you're not going into abstract like this, that, or the other. You're sharing, all right, this is the outcome that we want. Here's how we're going to use kvCORE, the CRM, as a tool to get us there. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yep, exactly. And my point is, I love teaching and making things as simple, as easy, digestible, and actionable because, you can go into a program and read their blog post on how to use this specific program, or you can watch all the YouTube videos. But if you're not really understanding, the reason why are you going to use this, how you're going to use it, and setting it up and actually using it, it's not going to. There's no reason for it. So it's really making sure that you understand, why am I going to use this CRM? What's the purpose of it? Am I going to be committed to using it? And then setting it up so it works for you, because like kvCORE, it has so many features, and that's what I love about it. Doesn't necessarily mean that you have to use all of it. You just have to use whatever works for you and your business.
100%,
Yeah.
100%. Well, Geraldine, let's jump right into it. And folks, as you have some questions about the about kvCORE, about systems, about integrations, about technology, anything that you have, please feel free to drop it down below in the comment section. So we'll make sure that we get to it. And if you're on the live stream, make sure that you're smashing that like button so we can get the algorithm helping us and getting this into more people's hands, because there's a tremendous need. And we have an expert here to address the questions. So jumping into the five items, the five strategies, the five things, and I don't know what we want to call it, but there's things that you wanted to share about kvCORE that are going to help those users either get started using kvCORE or optimizing what they're doing right now. So let's jump into it. What's the first thing that we need to know?
Yeah, so just like everything else that you start using is the initial setup. Within kvCORE, if you are someone who uses it, I know with like EXP, we get that from our brokerage, but setting it up, adding your images, adding your information, your social media, all of those things, just from the get-go is like number one, like the most important thing. And within kvCORE, they make it super, super simple for you to do all of that. And what I like about kvCORE, or just the actual um, software company that created it, they make it easy for you to find the answers to some of the things if you're not sure how to do it. So there's always support if you get stuck somewhere. But the number one thing that you want to do first and foremost is setting it up. Within kvCORE, you also have your IDX website. So any changes that you make on your profile will automatically update on your website. So you always want to make sure that that's up to date, whether it's adding, current testimonials and your bio. Some people, want to add information on what's going on within their community, or how many deals they've closed, how many people they have helped. So updating your profile, making sure that your kvCORE and the website is set up is number one. So that's the first thing.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, it's it
within,
go ahead.
yeah. No, go ahead.
No. So that's something that, again, it's always the I'll do it later. I'll do it later. So we get the shiny new toy. If we could spend a couple of minutes, a couple of hours getting that done ahead of time, we forget that it's a one and done, right? So unless you're going to actively put a blog on there, which you can, unless you're going to actively
Hmm.
do X, Y, and Z and continue to rotate things out, most of the time when you go to the settings, the only time that you're going to see it is when you're getting it set up. So if you take the time initially to take the morning, whatever morning you choose, whatever's either the most productive or the least productive, I'll let you choose that. Spend that
Hmm.
time in setting up your kvCORE, because you never know when some of your pages might index. You never know when your name might pop up because you put the neighborhoods that you work in, the cities that you work in, the counties that you work in, because not everybody is in the Dallas of the world, not everybody's in the Orlandos of the world, or in the
Hmm.
Alaskas of the world, like somebody happens to be on this Zoom, not me, by the way. Not everybody is in those very populated areas where it doesn't take that much for us to index. And the more of a digital presence that we have from a trusted URL or a trusted domain such as kvCORE or Inside Real Estate, I
Mhm.
believe is what it shows sometimes.
Yeah.
That's a huge opportunity that we really can't overlook. So setting everything up to where we at least look professional. And when I say that is kvCORE comes with the website that at bare minimum puts our avatar or our image on the main website in the IDX. I don't want to pick on people, but it feels like at least 20% of the people that have kvCORE never update that. And it just baffles my mind. It's so simple. It's just putting your profile there. When somebody goes to your website, you're leaving a lot up to the imagination. Is this agent still in business? Does this
Yeah.
agent, like, what's going on here? Yeah, I can see listings, but the professional look just kind of goes out the window. So setting up is
Yeah.
really something we overlook, but it's so critical. So I love that.
So important.
I
And
love it. I love it.
especially, nowadays, a lot of real estate agents want to create that brand. They want to stand out. So if you are someone who likes to get headshots, I love to get headshots. When you update your headshots or your bio, make sure that you're doing it also in all of the platforms. So it's very consistent all throughout. If you have specific colors that you like to use, um, go for it. Making sure that you're updating it in all of the places is also important. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So moving on to number two, Geraldine, what do you got?
Yeah. So number two is the dashboard. So as soon as you have your kvCORE set up, you updated all of your information, it's getting familiar with the dashboard. And the dashboard is basically where everything is like housed. So it's like your go-to when you log into kvCORE. You have tasks that you need to do on there. It's just like easy to see like the big picture. One thing about kvCORE and your IDX website is that if someone comes into your website, you can see some of the properties that they're looking at, some of their behaviors, maybe the price points, and all of that. So if you see someone on your dashboard who pops up a couple of times, you want to reach out to them because they are either actively looking for to buy or even sell as well. Um, but getting familiar with your dashboard, and again, the more you use a platform, the easier it'll be, and the quicker you'll get at it, and you'll like to spend time on there as well. Um,
No,
I
that's
think
so
that
true. So we have a comment here updating picture on all platforms is something I've missed. Boom. Well, take this time that we're hanging out outside of you hitting that like button. Take that time to update it at the moment. I know it sounds like a pain that let's just say you don't have a you're not as pro taking headshots as Geraldine might be. Well, maybe the next step is put a image as a filler for now, schedule
Mhm.
a photographer, and then replace it. But don't leave
Yeah.
the live stream without taking action on the next thing that you need to do, because again, it'll be later, later, later. But going back to the dashboard, get you can customize your dashboard where
Mhm.
you get some valuable information that's important to you. You don't have to go and run report after report after report. If there's a KPI that is important to you, there's an important metric that you need to know, well, make it as simple as possible for you to index, whether that's the amount of context and the amount of contacts that you get a month. Well, make it a habit at the
Mhm.
beginning of the month to write down, or how many new contacts did I get? How many new X, Y, and Z's? Whatever is important to you, make sure that you're tracking that. The dashboard just makes it incredibly simple for you to do. If you make it a practice of identifying, one of the cool things about the dashboard that I like is it lets you know people that are opening up your properties, right?
Yeah.
So you can make it a habit of anytime I see one of my leads open a property, well, I'm going to call that lead. I'm going to call that individual. And there are some
Mhm.
automations you'll probably get to here in a little bit, but it's something that is there's a visual cue to it that is so intuitive in many cases, but so valuable if you take the time of having a bit of discipline of logging into your kvCORE daily and managing your business
Daily.
from there,
Yep.
right?
Yeah. And it's definitely a habit that you'll want to build up because first thing that we normally do is like get on social media or check our emails, and just not taking the time to just log into your kvCORE, look at your dashboard, see if you have any messages, see if you have any appointments today, because you can see all of that as well on here if you link your calendar. Any calls that you need to make, any tasks that you need to do, whether you promise someone that you're going to send them a CMA or something like that. All of that you can find on your dashboard.
I
Yeah,
love it. I love it. So, Geraldine, I apologize. I just noticed that I didn't change it to bullet point number 2.
it's all
That's
good.
the problem with not having a professional producer. So, I feel like a radio DJ. I've been told that several times, especially from guests, because I'm as we pan out and do this, do that, or the other, just trying to learn the system. So my apologies on that. So we'll jump right into number 3, and I promise I'll keep up with your awesomeness.
You're all good. So the next thing, and number three, is there are so many ways that you can do organic lead generation within kvCORE. Um, I mean, I don't even know where to start, but the first one is you can easily share other listings that are in your brokerage on your social media. And as a real estate agent, you always want to have those fresh new leads coming into your pipeline. But then again, it's like you don't want to spend, all this money doing it, especially on a daily basis. So having some sort of strategy behind it whenever you are looking to get new leads, whether it's posting listings or having a, call to action on your daily posts. Um, but one of my favorite ones, and I'm just going to double check here, is sharing. You're able to share listings from your brokerage onto social media. Um, Super easy. It prompts you every step of the way. And the other thing that you can create is landing pages, or some people call them squeeze pages. Um, and you can create some for buyer leads or seller leads, or even renters too. A lot of people, we forget about renters. Um, so that's my next one. So, I mean, I can keep going into lead generation, but I would say those are the most important ones. Is you can share listings within kvCORE to other social media platforms, and then you can create squeeze pages, and again, all free and organic.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's huge. And so, yeah, there's a lot of different ways that you can leverage kvCORE. And by the way, if you're not following Geraldine, she's a great follow. So make sure that you follow her on Instagram. She's always providing valuable tips for you. And also, it will be linked down below along with her YouTube channel. So make sure that you're checking that out, where she'll drop and screen share all the strategies to generate some organic leads, so free leads. Now, I'm not the biggest CRM advocate, or I wasn't. I should rephrase that. I wasn't the biggest CRM advocate, but just going based off of what you just mentioned a couple of seconds ago of leveraging kvCORE, at using that as a tool to either promote your brand, to promote listings, to use the squeeze pages, landing pages, do the email autoresponder, doing all this other stuff. That's something that you can't do with your notebook. And something that you can't write something down and all of a sudden it's going to do something for you. Now, this could be a great reminder, but it has limitations. Same thing, the people that
Mhm.
are the agents that are just operating off of their phones, when it comes to just putting people into their contacts list, that's a way to stay organized, but that's not going to be a way for you to actually grow your business or leverage a system that's going to buy you time and bring you business. So that's when we're talking about CRMs. Again, I wasn't the biggest advocate for CRMs, but if you have a powerful tool like kvCORE that allows your clients to have access to the MLS, it gives you the ability to share listings incredibly quickly. So I think you've
Yes.
covered in the past a Craigslist strategy where you can actually post
Yep.
any listing through a smartphone with a smartphone number into Craigslist. So
Hmm.
Craigslist is still a top 50 website in the United States, which has a ton of traffic of people that are actively looking to buy something, whether that's houses, whether that's lawnmowers, whether that's cars, whatever, they're actively going there to search, right? So
Yes.
just such a there's just such power with kvCORE that we owe it to ourselves to dig into it, especially if it's already being provided to you. So yeah, for the rest of the strategies, the organic strategies, I really encourage you to click on the link down below to go and check out Geraldine's YouTube channel where she shares all of them. So make sure that you are going over there and checking that out. Did I do justice on that, Geraldine? Could we
Yeah,
move to number 4? What do you think?
that was perfect. And one thing I'll add too is, a lot of people think their CRM is just to add their contacts and send emails. But within kvCORE, there's a bunch of other things that you can do. And I feel like they make it easy for agents to just have this one platform and allow you to do multiple things, which is pretty awesome.
100%, 100%. So moving right over to another thing that we must know as real estate agents when we're looking at kvCORE.
Yeah, so the next one is your email marketing. So, email marketing, whenever you have someone come into your pipeline, you want to start talking to them, start nurturing them, whether it's a buyer lead or a seller lead. You always want to stay in contact with them so they don't go super cold or forget who you are. So creating email drip campaigns for buyers, sellers, renters, even past clients, even people that you partner up with, business owners, having a weekly or bi-weekly or even monthly newsletter that goes out is going to help you stay top of mind with your entire pipeline, because you never know when someone is going to be, ready to buy or sell, or they might know someone who is looking to buy or sell. Or if you have past clients, you always, again, want to stay top of mind. So creating these email drip campaigns or automations, little reminders where, hey, so and so is coming up on their 1 year anniversary when they bought their house with me. I'm gonna send them a email, just giving them a congratulations on your 1 year anniversary. Those things make a huge difference, and a lot of people forget that. It's like those small little reminders that people really really appreciate. So definitely setting up those email campaigns and birthday reminders, anniversary reminders. You can do all of that in kvCORE under your contacts.
You just stepped on the landmine, Geraldine, because that is one of my biggest things about. So whenever I speak with real estate agents, including some within our group, the immediate jump in growing the business is, hey, I want to run some Facebook ads. I want to run some YouTube ads. I want to run Google ads. And while we can do that, at the end of the day, the group that you and I are a part of, we run ads all day long and for our agents, and we do that for our agents for free. The one thing that we don't do is pay the ad spend. So
Mhm.
we're not gonna spend more in your business than you're willing to spend on your business. That's only fair. But what I want to illustrate there is the immediate jump is to pay somebody to promote the business. But one of the questions that I always bring up is, well, how many leads do you have right now? How many contacts do you have right now? And it
Yeah.
doesn't fail that there's usually 200, 2,000, 20,000. There's a bunch of contacts in their database already. But when the
Mhm.
follow-up question comes of, well, when's the last time they heard from you? That's kind of
Yes.
when we the light bulb kind of turns on. It's almost that Socratic method of talking them into the, or they're bringing up they're solving their own problems. They just don't
Yeah.
recognize it. Where if you're not reaching out to the people that are already there when it costs you nothing, what leads you to believe that that lead that we run a very effective ad for is going to be any different, right? So we're
Yeah.
not just trying to collect thousands and thousands of contacts. We're trying to convert people. And that
Yeah.
strategy right there of leveraging email, which is free for you, it's not going to cost you anything else
Yes.
outside of time of setting up your campaigns of the new leads that come in so you can hit them consistently, or running a nurture campaign so somebody hears from you in your database the entire year, right? It's just so
Yeah.
simple. We miss it. We just need to invest a little bit of time in something that's so free and accessible that if you just send out an email right now, I'll give a strategy. I don't want you to take all the shine, Geraldine. I gotta put
Go for
my own
it.
2 cents in here. So a very simple strategy of those quote unquote dead leads that we immediately jump to when they don't answer one of our
Mhm.
emails, answer one of our texts, or answer one of our phone calls. Very simple strategy is go to those leads that at one point reached out to us, or we reached out to in the form of ads, that was looking to buy a home. Sending a very
Mhm.
simple email or a very simple text, which you can do as well through kvCORE, is have you
Mhm.
given up on buying a home this year? And leave it at that. Just asking them that question, sending them an email. Have you given up on buying a home this year? You're going to be amazed at how many people reach out to you. Now, you don't need kvCORE to do that. What we're trying to illustrate here is email.
Mhm.
The email marketing, I believe it's called Smart Campaigns on kvCORE, I
Smart
forget,
campaigns.
but
Yep.
kvCORE allows you to use that, and you can automate everything. You can automate everything, but that's just such a valuable tool. And again, we dismiss it because it's so simple. We're always seeking
Mhm.
that, not always, I don't want to use that strong language, but we oftentimes will seek out the complicated, thinking that because it's complex, it's going to work. Is that fair?
Mhm. Yeah. And, just like you mentioned, some people might not be ready. They were thinking, yeah, in a couple of months, I'll be ready to, buy a house or start looking into it. But in the meantime, they're getting your weekly or biweekly emails, you're giving them information. Maybe you're going to do some community service somewhere, or there's an event going on that you are going to be in. Just sharing information. People, they might look at it. If they don't, at least they see that you are sending these emails. And you can add text messages as well to these campaigns. It doesn't necessarily have to be email. You can get creative and do video if you're into creating videos, and also do some voicemail drops. That's going above and beyond. But there's a lot of things that you can include in these campaigns for sure.
I love it. I love it. Geraldine, what else you got?
Yeah, so the last one is probably going to be my favorite, and it's creating pages on your website. Now, we all do business the way we want to do business. Some people are more, let's get deals done, let's help as many people. Some other people want to build a brand around it, build a team. um, when you have a website that's customizable, you can create pages, create a blog. We all know that SEO works fantastic. If someone's searching for a specific thing, you have a blog post about it, you pop up. You can have pages added on your website and have them go onto a different link. If you're sharing other information, you can also have a link for someone to book a call with you added to your website. I mean, there's so many things that you can do, but customizing your website so it shows your personality, who you are. You can add a video, promote if you have a YouTube channel, promote your YouTube channel on there. There's so many things that you can do. So customizing your website to make it fit for you and your business is my last tip there with kvCORE.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up because oftentimes we go seeking these technology companies, whether I won't name them by name, but landing page generators, email autoresponders, text autoresponders,
Mm,
looking at those companies that will sell us an IDX connection, all this different stuff that kvCORE already is doing for you. Now,
yeah.
this isn't us trying to sell kvCORE. We're not trying to sell you kvCORE. What we're trying to do is, if you have kvCORE right now, if you've looked at kvCORE in the past, this is a tool to use this video as a reference point, as an opportunity for you to find out what kvCORE is for one, but also how to actually leverage it to get business. For us, it doesn't matter
Yes.
if you use kvCORE, as long as you have something that the strategies just replace kvCORE. I know we said it 30,000 times in our video today because that's what the topic is. But at the end of the day, if you have a CRM that's like kvCORE that does this, a lot of the strategies are just easily plug and play, right? So it's just amazing that the fact that kvCORE already has all of this in one place. Your tech stack is already complete. You don't have to go and piecemeal together these things and hopefully they connect through Zapier or API Nation or any other connectors out there. It's just one of those powerful things that we have at our disposal. Many of you,
Mhm.
as the competition, and this is where competition is really good from the CRM standpoint. There's so many CRMs coming into the marketplace that kvCORE is forced to compete and exceed its own expectations, in some cases its own price points, as well as real estate brokerages. Real estate brokerages are looking for differentiators, right? So they're looking for tools that they purchase on behalf of real estate agents. There's over 2 million active licenses out there, and brokerages are trying to attract you. So you're going to
Mm,
have access to kvCORE, whether that's through a new brokerage, whether that's through a program, whether that's through whatever. You're going to have access to it at some point in time if you seek it out. In many cases, it's absolutely free. So we just want to share with you how you can weaponize it. This is
yeah.
great content. If you're enjoying it, hit the like button. Boom. Case Slater,
Thank
you're one of the
you.
good ones. You're one of the good ones. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Geraldine, any parting thoughts? What are you thinking?
Um, I mean, there's so many things. I'm gonna keep saying this, but there's so many things that you can do within kvCORE. But it all comes down to what's gonna work for you, because at the end of the day, this is your business. Some strategies might work for you, some strategies might not work for you. So I feel like there's that trial and error, see what's working, what's not, tweaking things. But within kvCORE, you have all these features. They also have a marketplace where you can add additional things to it. And it's just, to enhance your real estate business in so many ways.
I love it. I love it. Now, Geraldine, I know that you completed an accelerator because I went through it and I thought it
Right.
was the most complete thing out there when it comes to kvCORE, even from the company itself, even from the creators of kvCORE. I found their stuff okay, but it was more button pushing. And it's not meant to be an
Mhm.
offense. That's really the purpose. They're not necessarily practicing real estate agents and don't need to share. They can share where things are, but as far as strategy behind it, I found that your accelerator really provided that bridge between what's possible and the results. So talk to us a little bit about the accelerator and what we can expect from that.
Yeah, so again, like I mentioned in the beginning, whenever I teach something, I try to make it as easy as possible where you can take action and do it yourself. Because we don't have a lot of time, and some of these things you probably need to set up. So within the accelerator, I go over, how to set up your kvCORE, your website, um, how to set up these email marketing campaigns. Again, super simple framework. There's templates, there's spreadsheets. So everything's all included. And diving into communicating with your pipeline, with your contacts, again, your past clients, all of them, staying in touch with them. Because at the end of the day, if you're either spending money, to generate these leads, you want to convert them, like Jaime had mentioned it. But it is, I think it's like over 4 hours long, I believe, of just amazing content. Um, and yeah, I can't say more about it. You'd have to
No, I
check it
love
out for
it.
sure.
I love it. So I wanted to bring up Kim Augustine. She's a super mega producer from Houston. Thanks so much for sharing. I took the accelerator, implemented just a few of the things Geraldine went over, and I'm already seeing a return on the time spent to
That's awesome.
implement. Thank you so much. Boom. A working testimony right off the bat. That's awesome. And that's from I know Kim, and she's extremely good agent and does a lot of business. So for an agent that's super busy, if she found time to slow down just enough to speed back up, I think that we all can do that, because she sells a lot of real estate and is one of the top agents in Houston altogether. Well, that's awesome, Geraldine. Thank you
Okay.
so much for hanging out, folks.
Yeah.
kvCORE, I'm all about it. I didn't used to be about it. I had a big breakup with the previous CRM, which won't be named here because I'll stop. Anyway, so kvCORE is really a fantastic CRM. Really do encourage that you at least explore it. If you have it, there's no excuse for you not using it. If you're going to spend $30, $50, $100, $300 in another system because you find kvCORE hard to understand, give yourself the gift of the accelerator. Give yourself the gift of following Geraldine on Instagram